Welcome to What's Up, Bolts? I'm Fernando Ramirez, that cowboy hat donning, son of a sunglass wearing, son of a gun. Is
Almost
Dan.
forgot my intro. What the
It's-
hell are you doing?
It's
I'm
been
not
a
getting intro boy.
it's been a while.
Be the man. You gotta beat the man. Woo, 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 woo.
It's been a while, so yeah, we're fired up to be back. Thank you guys during our little hibernation. I mean, guys, it's been relatively quiet. I mean, the Chargers the Chargers the last 2 years have made big splashes in free agency. Corey Linsley, Matt Filer, they went out and got Khalil Mack last year, JC Jackson. They went to go get some pretty big known players, and this year it's just been very quiet. The one guy they did bring in though is Eric Kendricks, who is a linebacker from Minnesota. 9 years in the league, and Dan Diego like this. He rarely misses games. He's had over 100 tackles in each of the last 8 seasons. He's been an All-Pro. He's been a Walter Payton Man of the Year, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, he was the big kind of the big commotion on Monday because we hadn't spoken to him. I mean, usually when you get the big name free agents, they let you speak to them and everything, but the Chargers kind of held off until phase 1 began. Phase 1, guys, is just basically where the players work out. They're out in the field. The Chargers had a pretty good number of people there. Justin Herbert. In the section that the media was able to see, we had Eric Kendricks, Khalil Mack, Corey Linsley, Sebastian Joseph Day. But you know what? I'm being very rude. Dan and Dago, I apologize. I'm already getting into it. It's been a while.
I was was ready to jump in and be like, Frown, tell me who didn't show up.
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say how you're doing.
How I'm doing? I'm excellent. You know, just like Ricky Bobby says, I wake up in the morning and piss excellence. It's amazing. What else was I going to say? Yeah, it's very interesting. Like you said, it's been quiet this whole time, Frown. I mean, there's not much to report on. So once we obviously get in season and everything else, we can start talking. Obviously, the draft's right around the corner and training camp and everything else. So there's going to be a lot more stuff going on. So we can finally pick up the pace, put the control down to quit watching baseball, and we can start talking about football again. I hate baseball season. It means there's no football, and your boy Dan and Dago needs football.
Yeah, so like I said, boring period right now. But going back to what I was talking about with
or whatever. Phase 1, where Thanos comes in, or
phase 1.
Yeah, Thanos isn't there yet, right? Who are we taking on?
Huh?
Thanos isn't there in phase 1, right? Who are we?
No, not yet. No, this is where you're basically beginning everything. But
the little goblin coming out of the sky.
but yeah,
everybody name it phase 1.
Huh?
They name it phase 1.
So they do obviously like this week is week 1 or phase 1. Next week is phase 2, and they kind of go.
And then the one is phase 3.
Huh?
I said, and the next one is phase 3.
Well, yeah, that's basically how they do it. It's just like a weekly thing where the players are there and they're working out and they're doing strength and conditioning. The guys were drenched in sweat. I was like, whoa, okay.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Out in the sun.
There was no sun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but Sebastian Joseph Day was there. Corey Linsley. It was good to see Khalil Mack out there because, I mean, obviously he was one of those guys that was pretty fired up after the season ended and the way it ended. So you could tell he was pretty he was fired up to be out there. Kendricks, right away we saw he was working out with Khalil Mack. He spoke about Khalil and he's like, hey, this is a guy that I truly I admired when I was with the Minnesota Vikings and he was with the Bears. He's like, all I could think about was, damn, he's huge. Like, he's like, how does a human being get to that size? And folks, if you guys have not seen Khalil Mack in person, like the dude is huge. He's humongous. Yeah. Like you look at him, you're like, well, like he has muscles on top of muscles. But now let's go to Eric Kendricks real quick and hear why he decided to join. What made him want to decide to join the Chargers?
Honestly, it was just they're a good team. They're contenders. They have a good quarterback, great coaching staff. Just having conversations with Coach Staley. I think the first time we talked for like maybe an hour and a half. It was 11 o'clock at night, and I got to know his personality a lot, and what his plan for me was, and I'm I'm glad that I can fit into this program, into the system, but also I don't have to do too much, as I come in. I can just get to know the guys, get to know the leaders on the team like Khalil, and things like that, and just play my role. And this is my 9th year in the league. I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, so hopefully my experiences could help everybody else around me. But like I said, I'm not pushing for that. I'm just gonna come in here and be myself and play the game that I love to play.
I know that folks kind of, I mean, if you haven't really seen Eric Kendricks play, like you're truly missing out. Like this guy he's legit. Like
all over.
He when you pop in, well, you know what? Actually, let me do that in a second. But
He probably played the Vikings last year, I think, at home, or was it 2 years ago?
He what?
Well, the Chargers played the Vikings at home last year or 2 years ago.
I think it was. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Let me. I'll get.
Yeah, and he was insane in that game. He was all over the place.
Yeah,
even
so
picked off Justin Herbert.
And the thing is that he's going to help not only with that, but they talked about his leadership and kind of what he brings, and obviously what he's really going to help at, I think, is helping Kenneth Murray out. That's going to be huge for the Chargers. Something has to start clicking in Kenneth Murray. I know he had a better season last year, but for a former first-round draft pick, you kind of have to take that next step this year. And if he doesn't, the Chargers are really going to have to evaluate what they're going to do with him coming up, because, I mean, you have other places, you have other needs, you have other places where you need to go when it comes to draft picks and stuff like that. So I truly do believe that the Chargers are going to have to evaluate what they're going to want to do next when it comes to him, because, man, I'm telling you, he needs to take that next level, that next step. If not, it's not going to be pretty. But here, watch him on this play.
If anything, he might play out his contract. Who knows?
So here he is right here. He's the guy with the hair right here. Can you see him? Okay, watch what he does.
He's not in the what the hell's the shampoo? The Head and Shoulders commercial.
Oh yeah,
he has a beautiful set of hair. Dude looks like a lion, dude. Wow. Dude's a stud. He picked him off in that game, too. He dropped back, read Justin Herbert's eyes or whatever, jumped it and got him. He baited him and he got him. And you know what, Frown? I think we talked about this, whenever the hell free agency was and they signed him. I think the other thing he's going to do besides bring veteran leadership and other things like that, which I know is always key to successful teams and stuff like that, where you can't have too many youngsters, but the run game, I think that is his primary probably responsibility, that they literally let go Drew Tranquill. Instead of signing him, they signed Eric Kendricks. And just look at the difference between the two. Tranquill obviously undersized, everything else, and Eric Kendricks, a big man. So it's like, I think they really understand that they needed that type of big body in the middle. So when they try, there you go. Yeah, that's the pick. When he
was guarding Keenan Allen on that play.
Yeah. Anyway, I think they understand that they need a big body in the middle to try and take on those guards and centers and everything else, those fullbacks, because I think, obviously I get, roasted by some scumbag on the other program about how I'm a caveman and everything else. But I think some teams are starting to move back into that type of offense where they do want to run the football and pound the rock a little bit, and that'll open up the passing lanes and everything else. Because the teams that got to the Super Bowl, I saw a lot more handoffs than I did dropping back and just throwing 40, 50 times a game. And it's like last year, the Chargers basically understood they were the games that they lost that were crucial in seedings and everything else. It was because they got blown out in the run game. And that's the thing they need to work on. It's cost them last year against the Raiders. The run game cost them. This year it cost them. So it's like they understand that something needs to change in the middle up front.
Yeah, and that's why we're saying that. That's why they went to go. Eric Kendricks is going to help a lot with that. And the dude, and it's funny. I asked him off camera. I'm like, oh, so you're competing for best hair on the team? He's like, I should be. He's like, honestly, I should be at the top of that list. He's like,
who else is there? I couldn't even think of anybody.
Bosa probably.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, but he has the long curls, dude.
Oh yeah. No, and it like, what it kind of looks like in oh my God, like he has Soul Glow, like in Coming to America. when they have
Like
the
the Jerry curl or what?
yeah, well, like the hair that they have in Coming to
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
The one that you remember, the boyfriend Daryl owns. His family owns the.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. Another stooge and scumbag.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, and that's the thing. They need help with the run game. They needed help stopping the run game. And remember, last year they really didn't have all their pieces healthy for most of the season. Like they didn't have Austin Johnson and Sebastian Joseph Day. They didn't have like the whole cohesion. So they're kind of hoping that with all these players that they've signed the last 2 seasons, plus Eric Kendricks, this should really help their defense out. But he really they could really use exactly what he's gotten. Obviously, I asked him today about how he feels like he's gonna fit in the scheme. So let's see what he had to say about that. Oh, there it is.
Look at that, dude. Just look at his hair. Wow.
I asked him how does he like about playing with some of the players.
Obviously I was in. I don't want to talk about Minnesota a lot, but it's a big part of my past. So I was there for 8 years, and it was a big deal. But I think that me coming to the Chargers, especially being around a bunch of great players, it's going to bring another level to my game. It's going to make me feel like I'm the underdog again. I'm back at the bottom of the totem pole. I have this. I have to prove myself to everybody, my new teammates and things like that. And like I said, I'm not going to do too much. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, but it's my natural, personality to feel that way.
Brandon said, one of the things that appeals to me about you is there's going to be some scheme familiarity, not necessarily the same scheme, still like some of the pattern match stuff, there'll be some crossovers you want to do in Minnesota here. Just curious, like early impressions of the scheme, like how much crossover you think there will be?
Yeah.
Like how much familiarity, just what Brandon likes to do.
Yeah, when I signed, we came in the room and I was talking to the head man and just determined a lot of terms, a lot of obviously the same coverages and things like that. We were a lot of crossover, and my wife was with me, and she probably was thinking it sounded like a different language based on how we were talking, but a lot of familiarity. And it's I'm excited to go into my second year kind of into this scheme because last year. I think I played well and I did a lot of good things, but in the same breath, I think that year two in the system, I'm going to have a much more bigger edge. I'm going to know kind of things that can potentially harm us in certain situations, things that I know that could help us, and hopefully we can go from there.
So obviously he's talking about the defensive scheme and him going into it and how he feels like he's going to benefit. He was in Brian Flores's, or no, I can't remember who the defensive coordinator was
last year. Or?
Yeah, for the Viking. Let me check and hold on.
Yeah, no, Brian Flores. I think last year he was with the Steelers.
It was Ed Donatel. Ed Donatel was the defensive coordinator, so I guess Ed Donatel and runs a lot of the same. Oh, he's an Ohio guy. Chicago Bears. Yeah, he was with Brandon with the Chicago Bears and then with the Denver Broncos. So he runs a lot. I guess a lot of the same scheme that Brandon and Vic Fangio run. So that's where Eric Kendricks is talking about him already being in the system, is because he was under Vic Fangio before, and it's the same system that Brandon Staley is going to run. So that means that Eric Kendricks is going into his second year of understanding the system. So that's why he feels like it's going to be an advantage for him.
And, I think the most important thing is what he said in his opening press conference. He's like, all I'm trying to do is come here and do my job, not put too much pressure on me and everything else. Because quite frankly, like, I know it's probably a cliche, but it's that simple. Like, if you do your 1 of 1/11th, no, I don't think that fraction adds up. 1/11th of the job on defense, you're going to be successful. The problem is sometimes when guys try and do too much, and they're doing their own thing, that's when it just all goes to hell. And the important thing also, and lucky for him, he goes from having, an all-pro safety, a stud like Harrison Smith, and he comes over here, he has another stud in Derwin James. Then he's going to have probably a little bit similar help up front because they had Dan. I think the name is Dan. I know Hunter's the last name, but I think Danielle's his first name.
Danielle Hunter.
Yeah. So he had guys up front, and he's going to have guys up front here. The only problem is, obviously everybody's going to be nervous, hopefully bubble wrapping everybody, because you can't have the same problems you had last year, or else that's going to be a disaster again. So honestly, hopefully his main job, again, like I said, is to be that freaking run stopper, because you've seen Kenneth Murray sometimes fit correctly and make tackles, but it's too inconsistent, especially like you said, a first-round pick, because now, last year it was obviously Kenneth, you'd see Drew, and maybe Derwin sometimes in the box there, but now you're going to have to find a third linebacker, not only in case one of these guys go down, but also, to give people rest and everything else, to give them a few plays off, and make sure they're fresh come crunch time and everything else. So I think that's going to be crucial. How can you get that depth? How can you establish that depth? Because we've seen what happens to this team when there is no depth. You saw it last year. Joey Bosa goes down. It is Carl, right? Carl Rumpf?
Chris Rumpf.
Chris Rumpf. I knew it was a C. Chris Rumpf comes in. Couldn't really, obviously, it's hard, big shoes to fill and everything else. Very difficult time he had, and then he gets hurt. Then it's, just scrambling always. So I think depth's going to be probably a big issue in some of these areas where they're a little bit thinner.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Real quick, Dan, let's just go real quick to hear what Brandon Staley had to say about bringing in Eric Kendricks.
Oh, he's got the beard. He's still got it.
A lot of experience, a lot of playmaking ability. He's been at the heart of one of the top defenses in the NFL his entire career. He's a very complete player, and he's also one of the best leaders, that you're going to be around. So excited about joining up with him, and, we're going to have a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah.
So I want to, so that's enough for the whole Kendricks thing. I kind of wanted to bring this up. Well, actually, let's, I don't know what to do next. You know what? Let's continue. So, obviously, we talk about Brandon and about how everything's been going. Brandon today spoke to the media. If you guys don't know, if you guys haven't heard, Jalen Hurts signed a new contract, 5 years, 200 and
55.
You're right, $255 million contract that puts him at $51 million per year. As of right now, obviously things can change, but that obviously leaves a question about where does that leave Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow? They're the next to get paid. Obviously, throw Lamar Jackson in there, but I feel like Herbert and Joe Burrow are not more important, but they're in the same draft class as Jalen. No, but they're in the same draft class as Jalen Hurts. So now one guy already got paid. It's going to be interesting to see how the other two fall. So the main reason why I bring this up is because we asked Brandon, hey, any news about the contract extension of Justin? He's like, we've had them, but we want to keep those private. So they decided to keep that private. I'm giving you guys some news and notes, obviously, right now. Austin Eckler was not present today at offseason. Remember, folks, these are voluntary. They don't have to be there. Other guys are out there working on their own. Then they come
in Florida or whatever, right? Like
So I mean, Joey and Nick work together. Other guys work out on their own. Surprisingly, Justin was in Miami yesterday doing his fishing and everything, and he was there today. Working out and getting ready. Justin must be fired up for this season.
That's the life of a quarterback for now. You just show up, sling a few balls, then you're done. You don't have to do any.
No, because he's still recovering from shoulder surgery.
Oh, Jesus. There you go. There you go. Reminding me of negative things, Frau. The son of Odin.
No, I'm not. No, he'll be fine. But obviously, Brandon said that that Austin, there's no update on Austin Eckler. He's like that we still feel the same as what we spoke last time. So no news on there. Tito Ogbanya, his recovery process. He was working out on the side. Brandon said that was positive to see. Then we asked him about J.C. Jackson. He said he's progressing well, that it's good to see him working at the facility, that he's rehabbing there. They're just excited to see his progress, and they hope that he could take advantage of these next few months before they hit their break in June, and they'll see where he's at come training camp. So definitely a lot of positive there when it comes to him. And then obviously, folks, the kind of news today was that I'm going to end on that. No, you know what? No, I'm going to go with it.
Just playing like a Vegas dealer, just moving everything around,
The Chargers re-signed Jalen Guyton on Monday. They brought him back in. He is now obviously back with the team. I'm going to be completely honest, and I mean, and Dan, I hope I can. I just wanted to talk real quick about this because I kind of saw on Twitter that some fans are like, okay, speed solved. We brought back Jalen Guyton. And I'm talking about, that's what they're saying. They brought back Jalen Guyton. It's solved. No, it's not. Like, Jalen Guyton is a guy, and he's had some good moments.
Flashes.
Exactly. He's not the guy that you need for, and it's flashes of, this is what he's basically going to be. You know what Jalen Guyton's going to be.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but like 2021, 31 catches, 448, 2020, 28 catches, 511. So basically it's either go deep or that's it. Like, and I've tried to explain this to people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. But look, yards per catch, 31, 28, 21. Jalen is not an underneath guy that like you can get.
Not versatile.
Exactly. Thank you. So he's basically, I don't want to call him a one-trick pony, but he basically can just like go deep, and he's good at it. He's fast, he's everything. But what the Chargers need is not just a guy that can go deep, and that's not the kind of speed that people are talking about or that we have been talking about. The speed is, can he take a drag route and turn it into a 20-yard gain or make guys miss?
80-yard touchdown, whatever. The
yak!
The yak!
The yak is important. Jalen Guyton's not a guy like that. Jalen Guyton is essentially what he's been so far for the team. So when folks start tweeting that out, I'm like, really? Like, you guys are like, oh, yeah, the draft, okay, you don't need to go receiver anymore. Like, they got Jalen. Like, Jalen Guyton, remember, he's coming off a torn ACL. You won't know if he's going to be ready by the start of the season either. So I don't think this changes anything when it comes to the Chargers' plans going into the draft. I don't think it should change anything. But, I mean, obviously, I'm going to be completely honest. We've seen this already. You've seen it. You've seen when the Chargers go in with if they went into the season with these four guys, I don't know how much they would succeed, to be completely honest. I don't know if it changes anything. You don't have this. You need a difference maker when it comes to speed. And I just don't
open Pandora's box, Frau. I love it.
No, I'm being honest. Like, it's just that
get into it.
Like, you don't want to recycle players and be like, oh, okay, like just present them as a new thing and be like, look, here we go. We washed, dried it out. Here you go. That's a new t-shirt. No, it's not. You just dried it, recycled it, and put it back in my closet.
It's like the restaurant when they put a hair in your burger. They say, oh, let me make you a fresh one. Pull it off, heats it up, and let's go.
Yeah, exactly. They put it. Can you heat this back up? Oh, yeah. But don't put it in the microwave. No. We're going to put it. Yeah, no, they put it back in the microwave.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The Chargers cannot go into this season with Jalen Guyton as their number 4 receiver. They are a number 3 or whatever the hell you want to call him. They need to draft a guy that comes in here and can be a game changer for them. That's not what this guy is. And I'm sorry, I'm just being completely honest.
There's nothing wrong. And I think that's what people need to understand. There's nothing wrong with criticizing or speaking about on-field performance.
Exactly.
You talking about his on-field performance, you never called him a scumbag. You never said he does anything wrong off the field like that.
No.
It's not an attack on character. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can talk about performance on the field. That's what we're here for.
Exactly. What I'm getting at is that I think Jalen needs to I think Jalen kind of like he is going to be a competition. I think he's a camp competition. I still think the Chargers should go in and draft 2 receivers. Doesn't matter where, because you kind of see where, like, I kind of feel like it's going to be a crazy, hectic first day. I think there's going to be a lot of trades. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. But I think the Chargers need to come away this draft with 2 receivers. One who's going to be a punt and a kick returner, and one who can be an explosive.
Joe Reed. I said there's Joe Reed.
Oh, God. And no, I think Joe Reed got.
You already know, Prowl. The 3rd round is reserved for running backs. We're already going to know.
That's a 4th round, you clown.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
You're right.
Josh
Spiller was like
Kelly and
second or whatever.
Isaiah Spiller.
Whatever, out of the first rounders.
Well, okay, but so that's what I think. So basically, I'm just saying, like, I'm just being completely honest. I don't think this changed anything. I think Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley still need to go into this. And another thing is too, there's two things that help when it comes to Kellen Moore's system. It's at least a fast receiver who could help kind of take the top off of the defense, and a tight end. They don't have either one of those things, and I feel like they need to go get something like that. And another thing is a running back that can kind of not pound and ground and pound, because Zeke even couldn't do that consistently, but like somebody who can
alleviate some pressure from Austin Eckler. We've been saying this since last season.
I think it is going to be Isaiah Spiller that does that. But as
you draft these guys and you don't give them reps, what the hell are you doing then?
Like, yeah. So, but that's just my 2 cents. You guys can take it for whatever you want. I'm just saying, I think Jalen is he's a great guy. I like him. He's a locker room guy, but I just don't think this changed anything. I think the Chargers need to keep on going. Speaking of the draft, Brandon Staley.
I don't get a chance. Is that it?
Oh, well,
we're just cutting off Dan and Dago. We're just cutting off Dan and Dago now. That's what we do.
Well, I get nervous.
I'm gonna block that scumbag's number off your phone, because just like that stooge tries to cut me off, you cut me off. Also,
I get nervous.
I reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman. No, it's all good. Like when we do this, I try and put my objective coaching hat on, and it's like I think the 2 biggest questions you're gonna have going into this season offensively, but because let's be honest, also Kellen Moore, there's no way he won like 10 games, I think, or whatever with Dallas last year. The son of Odin's a hell of a lot better than Dak Prescott. If he can't win more than 10 games with the son of Odin, then there's something wrong. But it's like, in all honesty, if you make the playoffs, Kellen Moore's going to be a head coach. He's gone next year, 100%. Yeah. I believe it, especially if they fire people, he's going to get hired. So in my mind, you have to maximize this year, period. It's Super Bowl or bust, because you're going to lose your offensive coordinator, especially if all of a sudden you see a revival. And the other thing is this, the 2 main questions we go back to. Number 1, how is Zion, and this is me talking about a little hog talk, how is Zion going to take the change to left guard, and how is Salyer going to take the change to right guard? That's the most important thing in my mind, because you cannot have another season where the son of Odin, God of lightning, Justin Herbert, is getting used and abused like he did last season, playing on torn labrums or whatever it was, the broken ribs and everything else. You can't have a repeat of that. It's inexcusable. You can't do this, especially to a franchise quarterback. You can't.
Especially to Dan and Dago.
Exactly. I need him protected at all times. The other thing is this. We saw what happens when you don't have actual depth at receiver. Last year, he was throwing to special teamers who didn't even know it was a freaking what's it called? It was I can't believe I forgot the term right now. The stupid when he hikes it, the receiver's in motion and he gives it to him. Is that an
end around or
fly? I can't remember. Whatever. But
sweep.
There you go, a sweep. Yeah, there you go. And it's like you already saw what happened when you didn't have that depth. You know, the son of Odin can only do so much. He was putting up numbers. I still don't understand all the disrespect, but whatever. And it's like you saw how much the offense struggled in that stretch. You can't, and this is what we go back to. Obviously, again, we've talked about this before off camera, where I say some of these guys, like it or not, they've stuck around. And some of these guys, when they were playing, got other head coaches fired. Like, I'm sorry. It's the truth. I don't know how these guys have lasted this long. And it's like, I understand you're tied up for salary cap and this, that, and that. But it's like, bro, like at some point you've got to cut your losses and see who else is out there, because you go into another season where potentially a Keenan and a Mike go down or whatever. Like, who are you looking? Who's behind them? All you got is maybe Palmer if he's healthy and if he all of a sudden becomes consistent, because he's a little bit more consistent than the rest, but he also shows flashes and then disappears. Yeah. And it's like, you have to figure this out either by scheming better to their strengths to open them up, or by actually getting some guys and giving guys chances to see what they got. So I think that's going to be the biggest problem going in. You've got to get this guy weapons to compete against these teams and obviously protect him, because, like I said, one more time, Kellen Moore, if he has a great season, if this offense has a great season, he's gone next year. So you really need to, maximize everything while you can.
Speaking of that, Brandon talked about, so Brandon and Kellen have been getting pretty acquainted.
have to,
They've been
dude.
working together for the last few months.
Yeah,
No, but then they went to Oregon to do a coaching summit together. So
Yeah.
I just asked them, I'm like, hey, what have you thought about working with Kellen Moore, and what have you learned from him? So here's what Brandon had to say.
Yeah, great to team up with him. So much respect from afar, and I think getting to work with him on a day-to-day basis, you're just able to improve a lot as a coach. And I think we're able to make each other's game better. I know how much he's going to help our football team, not just our offense. And it's been great to see how he sees the football game, what his plan of attack is, the vision kind of he has for playing offensive football, and all the experiences that he's had both as a player and as a coach. Really respect those experiences, and I think we can really leverage all of them to form, a new way here with the Chargers, a way that we really believe in. And I think that's the thing about being with him, is that he fits the way that we want to play as a football team. And it's not just about offensive football, but he's got a great feel to how to fit in to the team aspect of playing, and knowing how to utilize the team in front of him and how that fits into the greater scope of things. And I've really appreciated that. He's a winner. And I think that's something that was very attractive to me. As you go back to his, days as a high school player, playing for his father, to Boise, to his time in the NFL as a player and as a coach. They've been very, very good wherever he's gone. And so I'm excited for him to bring, all of those experiences to the Chargers and for us to team up. And he's been fantastic for our staff, and now excited for our players to get to be in front of him every.
So there's Brandon talking about that. So yeah, no, it just you could tell he's excited. So is the organization about having Kellen Moore. Obviously, we haven't talked to Justin Herbert or any of those other guys, but Justin already probably has his hands on that playbook. He's probably had it since the day he walked in. So I can't wait to hear Kellen Moore tell us more Justin Herbert stories, because I'm sure from the commercials and all that stuff, he's gonna have more now, being around him for 2 months. But definitely some interesting stuff, that it just seems like Kellen Moore is going to be a huge positive. I think that was their biggest offseason signing, was the fact that they got Kellen Moore. I thought that was huge. I think that's going to help this offense out. And I feel like he was kind of held back a little bit by Mike McCarthy, especially at the end of the year when you hear the stuff that Mike McCarthy was saying about him.
Watermelons.
Yeah, you're just like, really? Like, you're gonna the guy leaves and you're gonna take a shot at him? Like, I guess, but now it's gonna be interesting to see kind of how he handles this offense. Obviously, the Chargers kind of felt like there were shackles around Justin Herbert in this offense with Joe Lombardi in it.
Joe Lombardi had to be the OC.
Joe Lombardi heads to Denver, and now it's Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that goes. But
and the most important thing that Brandon said right there is when he talked about coaching the players in front of him. Like, that's the biggest thing. You've got to adjust to who you have out there. You have to know your personnel, get them in things they're comfortable in, and try and excel and things like that. And so it's going to be interesting to see what he does, because, you're essentially going polar opposite. So something's got to give. Either last year they were too conservative and that's what the issue was, and this year they're going to go all out and they're going to get some guy who likes taking shots and doing everything else, or we're going to find out what the hell's going on in there. Because if it both doesn't work, then who knows what the hell's going on.
Grenady?
No, he's not going to be the OC. Get him out of here. Stay in Alabama. St. Michael's.
Well, we appreciate you guys so much for checking out another episode of What's Up, Bolts. Obviously, don't forget to check out everything else. COMPAS on the beat. This week we have a very good episode for you guys. Obviously, the draft is next week. Dan and I will be back next week to talk more draft, or who knows, maybe in the next couple of days, maybe next week, to talk some more draft. Who are some names that I feel like the Chargers are going to go with, kind of with my experience of being around Tom Telesco and kind of seeing the way he
Notre Dame
the last 10 years. So, hey, Michael Mayer wouldn't be a bad selection for them.
Is Gerald Everett a free agent, by the way?
No, he's back with the team. They exercised his second year. So
good.
So they'd be a good 1-2 combo.
They would. He deserved it. He played well.
And if you did a 3 tight end system, I mean, it'd be basically Michael Mayer, Gerald Everett, and Donald Parham. So I just don't know how you would stop that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know how you stop it very
all right. Yep. Don't forget to check out everything else. House of Horns. Don't forget to check out. Hey, you guys wanted more Combat Combas? We got it for you guys. We have some big things planned for Combat Combas, so be on the lookout for that. And don't forget to check out our new show, COMPAS FC, if you guys haven't heard about it.
Shut
It's our new
up.
soccer show that we've been doing for the last couple of months. There's a lot of fun over there, a lot of trash talking. So,
And you know what's going on right now, Frau?
Champions League. So
Champions!
if you're a fan of the Champions League, come over and check that out. We do an episode every night of Champions to kind of break that down. But we appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. Have a great rest of your evening, or day, or a great start of your day. Who knows, wherever you are, however you may are. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, real quick. My bad. Before we even go, how dare you, Frau? Inexcusable. Do not forget, Charger fans, any listeners, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, get in there. Not only raid the comment section, smash the like button, everything else. Get in the comments. You already know. Ask your buddies. Ask your compas. We read these. Your boy Dan and Dago's in there all the time reading these. I got a screenshot saved because they were so nice. I appreciate
exactly. So if you guys want to talk to us, we'll talk back. Again, we appreciate you guys so much. Be a compa, tell a compa. Thank you guys.